Hello, and welcome to the second part of the sixth episode, Victims of Black Magic, on the Divine Rhapsody. And this is your friend, Faguni. So, in this episode, I am going to share a few stories about black magic. Things that have happened with real people. Things that have happened with me. Though there are a lot of stories that I can't talk about, but there are definitely a few I'd like to share because I cannot share all of them, of course. But there are a few. Most definitely. But I have to tell you, guys, this can get intense. Because what I'm going to talk about is dark. It is not of divine love and light. Though definitely God is everywhere and the universe has always had a big role when all these things happened with me and the other people. But still, I would like to ground myself and ask for protection for you and for me. To cleanse this space, I would like the universe to do that. So if you don't mind, I would like to say a little prayer in my head. Okay. I think I'm ready. I think you're ready as well. So, the first story. I had a friend. A very innocent girl. She had a very hard life, which made her very desperate for happiness, for even the slightest ray of hope. She always had a hard life. She had a very hard childhood, very hard teenage years, and it was just hard. Of course, she had her good days and moments, but overall it was hard, exceptionally hard, uncommonly hard. We were very close friends, really good friends, and she told me about this man. Some relative introduced her to, and apparently that man told her that he could solve all her problems, and he asked her to do this particular prayer in a particular stance and way at a particular time of the day. I'd rather say night, actually, at night. So when she used to pray, initially it never made me rethink or feel uncomfortable about anything because she was praying and I trusted her. And there was nothing to feel bad about. You can pray whenever you want, you know. God listens to you all the time, whenever you have time. God will sit and listen to you. So she used to pray regularly. And she started having these, how do I say, manic attacks, or she started hallucinating. I don't know what happened. She suddenly used to get very scared. And she told me, oh my God, I see something there. Oh my God, I see something there. And she was not a person who would lie. I mean, I never seen her lie. She never lied to any of us or anyone around me. So that was not her. But still, I was like, okay, maybe she's actually going through some deep things that I also cannot really comprehend. But I am her friend and I'm supposed to extend help whenever she needs. That's my job. We used to live in the same building. So it was, she had, and we both had a lot of access to each other. We used to live, we had other friends as well. So we all used to be with her whenever she needed us, and very supportive, all of us, towards her. She was also very loving and affectionate, but whatever. She started seeing things, and I really didn't understand initially. I won't say I paid much attention, But I did not think of anything inhuman or supernatural or paranormal about it initially, because that's not my first instinct. So, this New Year's Eve, particular New Year's Eve 2015, we both shared the same room. We had different beds, separate beds, but we shared the same room. I was so sleepy, but suddenly my sleep just vanished. I could not sleep because my body was shaking. I was feeling so cold. It was so uncomfortable and so unlikely to happen in that particular room, because that room was, you know, how do you say, comparatively warm from the other rooms on her floor. And part of the reason why I chose to sleep with her in her room that night, because I was feeling very cold in my room. But her room was colder than my room, which was very odd, but I didn't think much of it because it was pouring outside. But the windows were closed and everything, but still. The room was dark. She was on her bed. I was on the other bed. 2 o'clock at night. 2 a.m. That is December 1, 2016. I could not sleep. I was feeling so cold. So I started listening to music, soothing, calming music to sleep. I thought that probably, it might work. And I really wanted to sleep. I was so exhausted. It was late at night. So the room, I want to explain, the room was barely lit. I mean, there was some light on the opposite wall, because some light from the bathroom. If someone walked in that room, you could only see the silhouette, the outline of the person or the thing. You won't be able to directly see the details of what's going on, but you probably see the silhouettes. So the room was locked from inside. She was sleeping on her bed. I was sleeping on the other bed. And I got really tired of the cold. I was like, whatever, I'm going to lie down and I'm going to try again. So the moment I was about to lie down, I saw right in front of me, on the opposite side of my bed, not on the wall, but right in the middle of the room, I saw a silhouette of a man. I can say a man because it felt like a man. It did not feel like a woman. It did not feel like any feminine energy. It felt like a masculine energy of an infiltrator. It was not comfortable. It was not divine, for sure. 5 seconds into staring at that silhouette, my friend shouted, like, okay. And I turned on the light immediately and I asked her what happened. And she said, nothing, it's okay. I said, tell me what happened. She said, no, are you scared? Oh, I'm so sorry, are you scared? I said, why would I be scared? You shouted. Why would I be scared? She said, I know, the angel disturbed you. And I froze when she said that. I did not expect that, because I had not told her yet what I saw, what I experienced. She said it herself. I'm sorry, if the angel scared you. Actually, you were not meant to be with me tonight in my room. I said, okay, what's going on? What are you talking about? To what she replied, that every night she prays to God, and apparently on that particular night, God was supposed to send her an angel who had all the answers to her questions. I was shocked. Angels don't visit you like that. They do not visit you in the physical realm, in the 3D. They visit you in the 5D, in the astral realm. When you sit with yourself and meditate, you connect with them. You go there, you travel. I was shocked. And the most interesting part about the story is, if she prayed, why did I see the angel? I did not pray for anything. How was I so lucky and so blessed and gifted to have been able to see an angel when I did absolutely nothing to earn that? Right? You know what I'm talking about, right? You get it. I realized I did a little more research about what happened. I sat, I meditated, I talked to a few people who I thought would know about what was going on, and I was right. A lot of people helped me navigate and understand the situation. So, what had actually happened? This girl was tricked. She also did not know about this, that she had been tricked. It was not an angel that visited her, it was something else. And I think you guys know what I'm talking about. It was not divine. So, another fact about the story. 3 days before this night, every morning when I used to wake up, I used to feel this energy drain. I woke up with absolutely no energy, and that was so unlike me. I was eating healthy food, I was healthy, I had a decent lifestyle, I was a student, so I was walking and hustling in my prime years. So it made no sense for me to have lifeless legs after waking up in the morning. 3 days, 3 mornings consecutively, this was happening, and I was having the weirdest dreams. And every morning I remember waking up and trying to comprehend what I saw, because I used to feel so drained and so lifeless in my arms, in my legs. I was losing my mind. And then after 3 days, this happened. And then it clicked to me. Whatever this is, whatever this was not divine. This energy, whatever visited her, and definitely visited me as well, was here to snatch things, to give them to her, and then take something from her as well, which she would never know about. Because that's the illusion. These people who do these things, these people create these illusions that you ask them for something and they'll give it to you, but you will never know what you're being robbed of. So this is one crazy story. There are definitely a lot more details, nuances to this story, but I think I'll not get into those nuances today. Maybe some other day. Maybe when you and I sit together someday and we talk about things, maybe I'll tell you. So, another story. Now this is a little more intense. This is about me. October 23. I lost my grandfather. I adored him. He adored me. He was this lovely, lovely guy. So gentle, so soft. So loving. So loving. And I was the first child of the house, so we had a different bond. A very special bond. We shared a very special bond. But in 2000, we lost him. We lost him. But soon enough, I realized how big of an impact his death had on me. because soon after he died, I started seeing him with eyes open, with my eyes closed, while I was sleeping, while I was awake. I thought I was crazy. I told a lot of people about this. I'm almost teary right now. I told a lot of people about this. I was a child, you know. I did not know how to tell somebody about this, how to even comprehend what was going on. I thought I was crazy. I could not study. I could not enjoy. It took me 10 years to understand what was happening. I saw him for 10 years. Can you guys believe that? 10 years. That's a long time. It's technically all my childhood. He died when I was 5 years old. I was in first standard. And I got my clarity when I was in 10th standard. 10 years later, I was 15 years old when I actually understood what was going on, and I was not mad. I was not mad. I realized that I had been a victim of black magic. There are some people, some souls, some vessels like mine who are highly susceptible to dark energies. And I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. You guys have also sensed that about you. I was a victim of black magic. Growing up, I lost my mind. I thought I was mad. I thought I was worthless. I thought I was a waste. I couldn't enjoy, man. I couldn't enjoy my childhood because of all these things. But I'm so glad that my spiritual journey and the quest for knowing more started so young in my life that by the time I was 15, I knew the kind of person I am and why were all these things happening to me. So it was not my grandfather who used to visit me. It were these dark energies that visited me, threatened me, literally threatened me, because these things used to say that we love you so much, because my grandfather loved me a lot, okay? And I remember seeing him right in front of me and telling me that he loves me and he's here to take me with him. And that used to scare the crap out of me. I was a child. And when I told people around me about this, they didn't care so much. You know, in short, I didn't get the information I required that could have somehow helped me. But anyway, I was this fighter. So I was like, I'm not going to give up. For these 10 years, not just seeing my grandfather, there were many other things that happened with me. But 10 years later, I got to know. I met this very, very interesting teacher in my tuition center. This one random Sunday, he was teaching us English. And we were reading Julius Caesar from the English book. A regular Sunday afternoon, and the moment our class got over, everyone started packing their bags and leaving. I was always this quiet child, not very expressive, didn't talk to a lot of people, didn't have a lot of friends, because there was so much going on already. I don't know what. I never had anything in common to talk about with a lot of people because of all the things that were happening in my life. But this teacher, he came to me where I was sitting and packing everything to get up and leave. He came to me and he said, Falguni, what has happened? First of all, I was so surprised that a teacher knew my name. Second, that I don't know, that he was actually interested in knowing if I was all right. It was so unusual because that had never happened with me before. I felt special, and there was so much that was ready to burst out of me. I don't know why I felt that I could tell him. And when he said, Falguni, what's going on? I said, sir, nothing. He said, it's all over your face. What happened? And I told him everything. He was not surprised. And he told me a similar story about something that had happened with him. And I was not surprised either about the fact that something like this had happened to somebody. I was surprised that, okay, there are people out there who are facing similar kinds of things. That means I am not crazy. And he is definitely a teacher in this institution, so that tells that he is not crazy. People approve of his character and his personality. That means I can trust him. If he's saying that this is real, I can trust him. He isn't anymore. He passed away a few years ago, which was a big shocker for me. But I will always cherish what he taught me, what I learned from him. The first thing that I learned from him was that I'm not crazy. Second, that these things are real. Third, that I was special. That was the most beautiful thing, that he made me realize that I was special. But that day, my quest actually started with more compassion towards myself, with actually not trying to shove all this away, but actually bringing all this back and sitting in this energy and trying to break it down, contemplate what was going on. And you won't believe this, I stopped seeing my grandfather. The moment he told me that it wasn't him, that it was these other things, these other dark energies, these other bad, evil energies that were trying to prey on me, on my energy, because I was a good person. And stuff happens, you know. Some people actually are susceptible to dark energies. Very vulnerable. They fed on my self-confidence. They fed on my self-love. It took me a long time to fill that. It took me a long time to be in this state of abundance, of self-love and self-confidence and self-trust and faith. But it took me a long time. Another story. If you guys are interested, how long? Oh, 23:51. Anyway, I think we still have time. Which one should I talk about? So many. So many. I think, you know, You know what was the most frightening incident of my life? Scariest. It's from my childhood. I used to see my grandfather a lot. More than a lot. More than frequently. Almost every day. This is why I thought that I was crazy. I wasn't. But anyway. Um, One night, nothing special about that night, a very regular summer night. I was sleeping in my parents' bedroom. I saw a horrible dream. Horrible dream. I don't remember the dream right now, but I remember waking up panting with my heart racing like a horse. I remember waking up sweating in my bed. I don't know why. I looked straight at the window of the bedroom and I heard the sound. I was awake because I sat. I was panting so much, I was sweating, and I just left the sheet on my body and I sat down on the bed. I felt so uncomfortable, but my body wasn't paralyzed or anything. But then what happened? I heard this sound. It might sound funny, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know. I heard these, what do we call them? Gungru? I don't know how to say gungru in English. I think it's a very Indian thing. Coming from afar, in the lane where my house is. My house is at the end of the lane. So if someone is approaching towards our gate, especially at night, you can hear the footsteps. Because it's a very narrow lane. Three or four houses in the lane. So I heard this sound of gungru. Somebody walking in the lane, coming towards my gate. We live on the first floor in my house. So we had stairs. Then I heard these footsteps with those gungru sound inside my house, approaching the stairs, walking up the stairs. Okay. It was very evident, very, very loud. And shockingly, no one woke up. I was the only one awake. And the moment these footsteps reached very close to the window of my bedroom, they stopped. That moment, I couldn't breathe. I was shaking. I was sitting, almost half sitting on the bed, and I froze to death. I was shaking and frozen at the same time. I don't know how to explain that. I was vibrating. I was vibrating to almost towards stillness. I was vibrating so fast. I was so scared. And I don't remember when I slept off. I woke up very scared, very anxious. And this happened every night for a month. And then after a few months, it happened again. And then randomly, it used to happen. Randomly. My mental health deteriorated while I was experiencing all these things. It took a massive toll. Massive. Really messed up with my energy. I didn't give up. I felt so alone dealing with all these things. But I had my siblings with me who probably didn't really understand what I was going through, but they were with me. I used to share what I was going through sometimes with them because I felt so uncomfortable telling somebody these things. I thought that they would think I'm crazy. But I broke the ice and I told my siblings, and they were very compassionate. They were so understanding, though they were younger than me, these little kids, but they still gave me every ounce of love and validation. when I told them those stories, which I'll always be grateful for to them. Always, forever, forever, forever. I couldn't have lived those years if I didn't have their support. That's why they're my best friends. As I said, there's so many more stories, but 30 minutes into this episode, I would like to say that you might say that I am actually crazy. And it's okay. You can say that. But the fact remains the fact. I was dealing with things. Things were happening with me. Those things had both physical and mental effects on me. And I was a child. These negative, dark things shaped my childhood and most of my teenage years. Most of my. See, paranormal, these things are a very common part of my life now, but my childhood was extremely intense because I was scared most of the time. Almost every time. I was scared all the time of everyone and everything. I was scared. I was a scared kid all the time. But what it did to my mental health and my physical health remains fact. And it took me a long time, to regain my power, to become better, and actually find a solution. Actually get all armed up and fight against whatever was happening with me. Be in my power. What I'm trying to say here is, please don't ignore these things if they're happening to you. Even if you don't realize, they are affecting you and the people around you. You would say that I'm satisfied with my life. Something happened with me long ago and I did not really pay attention to it. Mark my words. If it has happened once, it will happen again. And you might not always be mentally prepared to face it. You could actually get traumatized. These experiences are often intense, very intense, bone-chilling intense. Don't ignore these things. I know there's a fine line between going to an exorcist and going to a psychiatrist. Definitely, I understand that. But these experiences take a toll on your mental health and physical health. Please recognize that, accept that. Just between you and me. If something has happened, help yourself. Find your power. Help yourself. And for the people who have never experienced these things, I don't know if you're lucky or not. I have no idea how it feels to have a life like yours because I have so much with me. So much that has happened. So intense. That if I start writing a book about it, it might never end. I might never be able to finish it. But anyway, these are a few stories, things that happened with real people. A friend of mine, with me. I said I'll share a few stories that some of you shared with me today and even yesterday. But I think you first need to work on your protection. Then I think I'll be comfortable enough to put your energy out there. I am highly protected, so I don't care anymore. I think I'm extremely strong. I can, like I've told you before, I can fight aliens, let alone these little things. So yeah, I hope you guys don't get nightmares after watching my episode. It felt intense, but thank you for staying here till the end. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for listening to my truth. I hope this is helpful to anyone who needs help. I hope this is a confirmation to you guys, to you, that what you experienced was real. You're not crazy. These things are real. These things are real. I hope you guys are protected, constantly guided, and loved. I wish you a lot of love, a lot of light. Yeah, almost teary, but whatever. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. I appreciate that. Thanks. Bye.